You can have good substrate, fertilizers, and even CO2, but if your lighting sucks, your plants are never going to reach their full potential. So today, I'm finally upgrading the lighting on my 75-gallon planted tank, but more importantly, I want to figure out what actually makes a good planted aquarium light. One of the biggest mistakes people make with planted tanks is thinking you can just throw plants in water and they'll magically grow. When in reality, the plants need 3 specific things: light, nutrients, and carbon. And if one of those things is lacking, you're limiting your plant's potential. Recently, I added CO2 to the 75-gallon, which gives the plants more available carbon, but CO2 alone is just one piece of the puzzle. If the lighting isn't strong enough or bright enough, plants won't be able to make the most of it. Light is literally the energy source that drives photosynthesis. That's how aquarium plants turn carbon dioxide and nutrients into new leaves, stronger roots, and healthy growth. Without enough usable light, growth slows down, colors can become less vibrant, and some plants will even start to struggle. But more light isn't always better either. If you crank the light way up without enough CO2 or nutrients to support it, you're just creating an imbalance, and that's when algae can start taking advantage. So with the CO2 already running on this tank, the next upgrade that makes sense is improving the lighting. So today I'm swapping out my 2 old lights for this brand new programmable light from Seaoura. I really want to see how it performs and whether it's actually a good fit for a planted aquarium. So what should you actually look for in a good planted aquarium light? The first thing is even coverage. You don't want one side of the tank getting blasted with light while the other is dim. This was actually one of my biggest problems because I was using 2 separate lights. While they were similar, they definitely weren't the same lighting. Having consistent lighting that reaches all sides of your tank helps all your plants grow much more evenly. You also need enough intensity to reach the bottom of your aquarium. In deeper tanks especially, a weak light can look bright to your eyes, but not provide enough usable light where your plants are actually growing. Spectrum matters too. A good planted tank light should bring out the colors of your fish and plants, while also providing the right wavelengths plants use for photosynthesis. And finally, having adjustable brightness and a timer makes it a lot easier to dial things in instead of running full power all day. On paper, this Seaoura checks a lot of the boxes I was looking for: adjustable brightness, built-in timer functions, a full spectrum LED, and even a built-in temperature probe that lets you monitor your tank's temperature from the controller. But features alone only tell part of the story. The real question is how it actually looks sitting on top of my aquarium. Now that it's installed, the first thing I noticed isn't that the tank is just brighter, it's that the light looks much more even from one end to the other. I'm not seeing any bright hot spots or dark corners. It really has a balanced look across the whole tank. The colors are another thing that really stand out. The greens look richer, the red plants have a little more pop, and even the fish seem to stand out more under this light. I also like that I can adjust the brightness depending on what the tank needs. That gives me some flexibility while I figure out the best balance between lighting, CO2, and nutrients. One feature I wasn't expecting to use as much as I probably will is the built-in temperature probe. It's nice being able to glance at the controller and immediately know what the tank temperature is without having some ugly thermometer stuck to the glass. One thing I really like is how evenly the light reaches all the way across the tank. My stem plants in the back, the lower plants in the foreground, and even the corners all look consistently lit. I'm also curious to see how some of my more demanding plants respond over the next couple weeks. Obviously, the real test isn't today, it's what the tank looks like in a few weeks. If I start seeing stronger growth, better coloration, and more consistent growth across the aquarium, then I'll know the upgrade was worth it. At the end of the day, a good light isn't going to fix a neglected tank. You still need to do the basic: good maintenance, nutrients, and if you're running high light, enough CO2 to keep everything in balance. But once those pieces are in place, lighting can make a huge difference. I'm really excited to see how this tank develops over the next few weeks. I'll be keeping an eye on things like new growth, coloration, and overall plant health, so if anything changes, I'll definitely keep you guys updated. If you're building a planted tank of your own, or maybe you already have one set up, hopefully this video gave you a better idea of what actually matters when choosing a light, and not just the basic features listed on the box. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you're new here, let me know down in the comments what light you're running on your planted tank. I'd love to hear what's worked for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.